It's a lot. He breaks it down. Thank you for the follow.
All right. So we're gonna be.
If y'all don't know, this is Fever9. He was a pred on Xbox like 100 times, 1,000 times, or whatever. He's incredible. He was like the #2 Wraith on Xbox for ages. He got like 1,000 wins or something crazy like that. Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. He's been on the stream a few times, actually, if you guys haven't seen him. He's on TikTok as well. His Twitch is twitch.tv/Fever9. So yeah. Let's watch it.
Be doing the
and Resident can give us information as well, because that dude has the analytic mind of freaking Einstein or something.
So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this clip here.
Yeah, I'm in here. Am I muted? No, I'm
So I'm gonna go ahead.
No, you're not. I hear you. I hear you.
Okay.
And I actually like. I prefer doing.
I posted today because I don't even want to get into politics, but everyone's like posting all this political shit, and I'm like, bro, while y'all were all distracted in 2020, I made more from my portfolio than 94% of Americans.
So I'm really,
just by fucking
holy crap,
focusing
dude.
on stock. Like, stop fucking like focusing on the stupid shit the media tells you.
They
Like,
did.
focus on your own self. And then so now I have all these people that are like, bro, what are you investing in? I'm like,
Me and you still need to have that talk, honestly. They removed PogChamp. Yeah, I know, I saw that.
50% gains this year.
Looks like the 2021 is not starting good. We're not talking politics in here. If you start talking politics in my chat, I'm going to ban you. It's not going to be a timeout. I'm going to you're just done.
Call out this fight here.
We don't do that here. My channel is about Apex and video games. It is not a place for politics.
Initiates this fight as a scan. And
But this is important, so pay attention.
Because you're the one that calls it out.
From behind.
A scan from behind, you ping. Now, I want you to look at.
Oh wait,
sort of what's
I don't have
happening
audio.
initially here. You see Quad.
Let me turn up the desktop then.
Use your Gibby.
Oh,
right? See him go into this building, and you decide to follow him. I think it's a great play. You got into the nearest cover, and you trying to think.
Thank you for the follow, Cloudy Watermelon.
You out in the open. You're assuming that they're over in this area. If you look at my mouse, and you also see me turning around here.
Or actually, maybe I'll mute you in the call and mute the
try
stream.
to do this in third person just so it brings value.
Oh yeah, if you have the stream muted, you should turn the stream up.
To anybody.
Yeah, I might have to turn on the audio.
Like first
Yeah, if you want me to pause it, just let me know, and then I'll let you just talk as well.
Do that? Apologies.
Oh, I'm switching to my.
Back really quick. Oh no.
What is this?
Sorry.
Fever, what are you doing, man? I'm not just saying Twitch is not working, and it's really annoying. I really want to see this video. Oh, I know, it's so annoying. I don't like that. Twitch is having some serious issues.
We
It
might
pisses
have
me
a
off.
small lag
We do.
Okay, so you go in this
between
building
like
here.
what you're saying on chat, because I have you muted in Discord, but I'm listening to you
Your Wraith
through.
calls out that,
Okay.
Again, talking third person here. Your Wraith calls out that he got hit by a lot. He's about 100 health here, but he's immediately popping a bat.
If you guys missed it, basically all Fever has said so far, he was like, you called out the fight because I got scanned. I was like, hey, I just got scanned. They're coming in. And I ran to the building, and he was like, that was a good play. He's like, you got scanned. You called out that we were about to get hit by a fight, and you went to seek cover because you weren't ready to, like, engage. So that was good, okay? And then he's like, you're seeing that your Wraith got hit for, like, 100 damage, and you're turning around to, like, see, okay, like, what's going on.
Yeah, behind us, right behind us. He's solo. I cracked him too. Coming.
So, you have an interesting thing here, right? So you have your Gibby calling out that there's a person behind him solo, right? And he said that he cracked him. That's a huge comm. Paying attention to what your teammates are comming is extremely valuable. A one-shot comm is different than a cracked comm, which is different from a 50 up comm. This is obvious, right? But really listening, paying attention to what your teammates are saying is the most value here. So, you're in a position right here where I want you to see what value you brought to Quad right there, okay? So,
This is really important. This is, like, really important, right? So, Quad went up. He's like, someone was low. And so I went up there to help him try and kill this dude who's low, right? But I basically did nothing. So this, like, listen to what he has to say, because this is actually really important. And you should, if you can implement this into your gameplay, I'm telling you, instant improvement.
you walking up here, I'm going to slow this down just for a second here, just so you can see this. Quad's 1v1ing, right now. Look at his health. He's doing well. Not taking a lot of damage. Only took about 25 health off of what he supposedly said is cracked, which I believe him. So let's see what happens here. You go up to help Quad. You say that you're coming, right? Going to help him. But you immediately see him in a crossfire. Right? You immediately see him in a crossfire, and he's backing up. Now he's 100 health. You still continue to go right until you just now peek left. Now you go back in the door.
Yo, what's going on,
this
Nit?
whole segment right here was what I would consider to be a waste of time. That doesn't mean you did the wrong thing. That means what was your value that you just brought in the last 4 seconds, right? Because seconds matter.
There was a follow Filthy Gaming.
Peeking that door, you could have kept a little bit more
that's
pressure
nice.
for like a half second, just because like. So my whole thing is like I don't want people on the team like all
Finally made it
medding
to a
at
stream.
the same
Welcome,
time.
dude. Yeah.
And since you know Quad's about to go med, like even though you need a med too, just by like turning and shooting a few rounds, you know, suppressive fire, like you're literally just like keeping the pressure on them for a few seconds, because he just needs like 3 seconds to get a bat off.
That's literally what Fever says right here. He was like, you basically went up there, did nothing, and then you both went back to heal. He's like, you could have stayed up there for a couple seconds and just kind of peeked whoever shot him and just like see what's going on. Not even like take shots, but like, you know, look, be like, okay, that's the dude who's firing. Do I have an angle? I can tell the Wraith, like, hey, that's where that person is at. You know what I'm saying? I can be like, I can lay out a little bit of cover fire, so let Quad get back inside and start healing. But like everything about
intimidation to the enemy.
Exactly, yeah. Everything I did though wasn't that. I went up there, I looked, I was like, oh, he's getting shot at. Let's just go back inside. I did nothing. I just wasted time. You know what I'm saying? And he'll talk about it more here.
Even just like keeping your eyes on the enemy just lets them know that someone's paying attention to them, and it like slows them down from pushing your position.
Full speed. See him getting shot. You go back in.
You know what I mean?
Now you start healing. What I think you could have done here differently in this little segment right here is just shoot left. You see him getting shot at? Why not peek it? They're focusing your Gibby. Peek railing. If you get beamed, you get beamed.
You know what might can you share your screen in the stream?
And, like, not
I mean
die.
in the
Yeah, I
Discord.
gotcha.
Or, I'm not saying full peek and die. I'm just saying see what's going on. Keep in mind where your Wraith is at right now. Your Wraith has a totally different angle. This is a great time to come. You know,
There we go,
when,
this will work better.
you are seeing, having more intel on what's going on, right? When you go back into this house right here, this is a great time to calm Fever, or your Wraith. Wraith, what are you seeing right now? Wraith, what angles can you get? Or did they scan you? You know, like who do you have eyes on? What do you see? You don't have intel on what's going on. Now, keep in mind, Wraith, or whoever, in this instance.
So that's important too. Like, so basically I went up there, I did nothing, and then I said nothing. I just went up there, I was a presence, so I was like intimidating at the best, but I didn't actually do anything. And then when I went back inside to heal, I didn't ask for any information. So I've literally done nothing.
You want to go out to eat with Jeffrey tonight for dinner?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah. Good? Yeah, he said it's good.
Yeah, so
I think
that's
there's a
what
couple
we're
ways
saying.
to play this that could have been done better, right? One, instead of like immediately going to like help him right off the bat when he says cracked, you could have popped a bat before you went, and then you could have stayed out there in that area. But I think there's a few ways that you could have played that to add a little bit of value, right?
There
Either,
was
like,
definitely-
full heal so that you can completely take that position and let him go heal, or yeah.
I think
And also
I think
another-
I did the worst option. I think the best option is what Fever said. I should have gone up there. I saw that Quad was getting shot at, and I should have immediately just turned left. And at the very, very least, just looked to see who was shooting and been like, hey, we have a Wraith, we have a Gibby, we have a Bloodhound or whatever, who's shooting Quad, he's on this rock. Wraith, do you have an angle? You know what I'm saying? I think the second best option would have been to look, not shoot or do anything, run back inside, start healing with Quad, and then ask Fever or ask our Wraith, hey, what do you see? Like, who is shooting at us? Like, where's everybody at? But I literally did none of those. I picked the worst option that I could have possibly done.
And I think a lot of that comes down to that we're just in the middle of a firefight.
Yo, thank you for the
Everyone's
tier 1 sub,
thinking
Filthy
about
Gaming. I
so many
appreciate you.
things in our head.
Thank you for stopping
It's
by
like
too.
sometimes
I appreciate it a
you get,
lot,
like,
man.
congested in your head that you're just thinking about, like you're processing all this information, and so you're really not, you know what I mean. You're like one step behind because you're still processing, and I think that happens to most gamers.
All right, let's keep going.
It's gonna calm as much as they can.
They broke this door. You guys can't see it because it's in the Discord, but I actually, when I sent Fever this clip, I said 35 seconds into this clip, I threw the fight. So this decision right here of walking out the door, I even told him. I knew, watching this back, this is the moment that I screwed all of us. I'm moving down.
So, out of this whole VOD, this is the biggest problem I have.
Mm-hmm.
So
you might have been able to take that space, but the way you did it was very blind.
Wraith.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Right now, you should be calming.
It gets worse. Watch.
Or Wraith or whoever. Wraith, what do you see? Can you get angles? Like, who do you have eyes on? Are they pushing? Are they not pushing? You have no idea of what's going on. You know you got scan. That's fair, right? It's completely fair. You got scan. You're in the building. You're healing. But now you're enclosed in the space, right? Fever, do you have our push? You know, little details. You get thermited here. I'm gonna slow this down really quick, okay? Just slow this down just for a second. You get thermited here. Let's watch what you do. I'm gonna mute it just because the audio is distorted. Right now, you see Fever, Wraith, pushing up and getting an angle on this box. You also have Quad, who is your Gibby, right? You have Quad, who just jumped off the railing. So, you're
all kind of going to focus in the same area.
Fever has this angle.
That's what he says actually right here.
Quad's got the front angle. He probably has bubble, right? He probably has bubble. Why don't I just go back to where the thermite is in peak balcony? But right here, I don't take damage, or your Wraith doesn't take damage, right? Why doesn't your Wraith take damage? Well, because he's playing a box, right?
And he came from a better angle.
I didn't even see that guy right there.
Crossfire right here. I'm pretty sure you calmed. Let's see what you calmed here. Let's pay attention to what you're calming.
They broke this door.
They broke the door.
I'm moving down.
I'm moving down. What was the purpose? Why were you moving down? And that's kind of like the thing that's important to note, because when you're in Predator lobbies, okay, and for anybody that may or may not see this video, this is a Predator lobby because you have someone on your team that's D3. So this is a Predator lobby, and this is also the #1 Pred that we're fighting against right here. So let's address that first and foremost.
That's true, by the way. If you guys, this is a SweetDreams fight. We're literally fighting the #1 Pred, and I am highlighted. Literally every mistake that everyone makes in this fight is going to get highlighted because we're literally we're going against the best of the best. This isn't like, I was actually talking to him about this, right? I feel like I get away with a lot because my aim is way better than most people who are below Diamond. Like, I have really consistent aim. At most of the shots I take, I hit. And so it's like, I can kind of get away with things because people around the Plat area just don't, their aim isn't consistent. That doesn't necessarily mean it's always bad. It's just not always good. And so I can do what I just did here and fly down a hill, take cover behind a rock, and then beam somebody and win the fight. This isn't like that, though. These are like the best players. So everything you do needs to have purpose. There needs to be a reason to it, and it needs to add some sort of value to the fight. And what I just did right here coming out of that building did none of those things, and it cost us the fight. 100%. And in fact, in a couple seconds, you'll really see why it cost us the fight, because had I been in the building, we would have won. Like, by a lot.
Let me add to that. Earlier this morning, I was watching Daddy Ditto, and somebody in his chat was saying, I hate when people use knockdown shields for cover in pubs, take that sweaty shit to the ranked. And I put in the chat, a good player always plays good, and a bad player always plays bad. If you're doing things bad in pubs, that's going to translate to ranked. Play how you're going to play in competition, right? So, and that's the exact thing. When you're playing pubs, you get away with a lot of like mistakes because you can just out aim someone. Like pubs is where you like straight up 1v1 shake people in their shoes while they're looking at you while you're reloading. That shit's not going to work in ranked. Like getting a habit of that, playing a lot of pubs can actually create bad habits because you're just being like aggro, and it just becomes habit forming.
Yeah, definitely.
You took the most amount of damage this fight while dealing the least amount of damage. And the only reason that happened, that has nothing to do with the integrity of your fight. What that has to do with is the fact that you pushed out in the open. I want you to notice where Quad is now.
Yo, Tarpsy, I can't see channel points on like my chat screen right now. Like, my whole activity feed is like screwed up because Twitch isn't acting right. So I would stop speaking, pinging Sawdude and using the jug plugs and stuff because I can't see it unless I turn around. But I appreciate you, bro. So I'll give you a good Sawdy. You know what I'm saying?
Paid attention to that. Where's Quad right now? Quad is where you probably should have been.
Yeah, no.
He's on balcony. And Quad was able to shoot for your Wraith, for Fever, whoever, to allow Fever or your Wraith to get that knock. And unfortunately, I'm so low, or your Wraith.
What were you
For
gonna
me,
say?
it's not necessarily the position that you took; it's the manner in which you took the position.
Well, actually, so hold your thought real quick.
Shouldered that door, the door you came out of. If you would have shouldered it real quick, just to see if you could instigate some shots to gain information, or even just pied it real quick to see, basically, like know that the line that you're going to take to wherever you're going. Like check the angles and see if it's clear before you go. That like 1 or 2 seconds of just like looking right and seeing if you were clear to go there. You could have still maybe made a bad play and just not taken as much damage, and it would have been easily recoverable. But when you stack those two things on top of each other, it makes it exponentially worse.
Oh yeah, and then watch what's about to happen when he keeps going.
So low. To a point where you can't effectively help me. Now you're 50 HP because you pushed out, and now you're duplicating the same angle that your Wraith took. Does that make sense? You're duplicating the same angle. There's no reason. There's zero reason.
Oh,
I just got shot in the back. Now, I'm not going to talk about Quad here because I truly believe, and this is your VOD review, not Quad's, but I do want to make it clear that Quad went back into the door to change the angle, and there was also no reason for that. He could have just popped a bat behind the door and then re-peeked me, right? I was the only one, or your Wraith, I apologize. Your Wraith, listen to what I just said, or what your Wraith just said, right? I'm getting a crazy angle on this Wraith. Those comms need to click for you. And for Quad, and for whoever.
Yeah, no.
Quad was able to shoot for me, now you're just out in the open crossfire. So, this is, I'm going to say 46 seconds here, right? So,
Batty.
so I'm going to go back to...
I feel like once
Okay, so you hit that guy for 45.
solo.
So, from 17 seconds, okay, to 46 seconds, so let's do the math there, that's 20, it's 29 seconds, right? So that's a long time. That's 29 seconds where you didn't deal damage and you took damage. Now, let's understand why, okay? It's not because you weren't shooting. It's not because you're a bad player. It's not because it's not because of any of those things. This is a very simple thing, positioning. This is all it is. When you had decent angles, let's go back to 17 seconds. When you had decent
I
angles,
cracked
right?
him too. I cracked him too.
Coming.
When you had decent angles,
Behind us, right behind
you hit a guy 50 off shield. That's a fact.
us. He's solo. I cracked him too.
Why? And let's understand this. There's a reason that you're playing this building, and your Wraith is out here. Why is your Wraith out here? Because I shouldn't have to explain this, and I'm sure you're like, I'm sure you watching this, you're like, of course I know why Wraith's out there. Because I could phase, right? When you're playing with a Wraith who's a good player, okay. Your Wraith was a previous pred. There's a lot of trust that has to go into that, right? Trusting the fact that if I needed to reposition, or your Wraith or Fever or whoever, if I needed to reposition there, I could easily queue and get with you guys. I could call for a bubble. I could ask for a scan. I could tell Quad to ult, if he has it. I could portal. Right? There's so many things I could do, so trust that.
I cracked him too.
Trust your
Coming,
Wraith.
coming.
There's a lot going on in this fight.
hit 100
and if,
on the
like,
Gibby,
if I was trying to
pushing-
coach a team like that had the same team comp and trying to tell them what everyone was doing, it'd be really hard to explain the Wraith part because a lot of that comes down to game sense and just, you know, being a very slippery like Wraith that's able to get angles. But if you have a Wraith that's doing her Wraith thing and you have trust in her, then yeah, the Bloodhound and the Gibby need to be like a really solid anchor and just not focused on taking any damage and trying to just like be picking at the team until like an opportunity presents itself is how I kind of think of it. And I might be
I
wrong.
think that's what he's saying right here too, because obviously like Gibby doesn't really have an escape. Bloodhound doesn't have an escape at all, except for his ult, kind of.
Well, when you're an obtuse triangle, it's like
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to explain it. Is like the Gibby and the Bloodhound need to be playing really well together and being like a strong dynamic duo. Because if Gibby saves his shield for Bloodhound and Bloodhound saves his scan for the rest of the team, then they're both supporting each other and they're going to be stronger in all of their gunfights.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm gonna keep this going.
Yeah.
If he has it, I could portal. Right? There's so many things I could do, so trust that. Trust your Wraith. I hit 100
Yeah,
on the
I
Gibby.
see
and pushing
Tarpsy's
up
comment,
on the
and
left.
really it comes down to just practice. I have a really good dude that I play with every once in a while. His name's Chaos Spartan. I was in a clan with him back in 2011 for COD, and the dude always fries. Like, if I was to get on Apex tomorrow, you would think he's a god, and he never even plays.
Yo, thank you for the
Apex.
follow.
He's just a really good shooter.
Appreciate
And when
you.
I play with
Bragu.
him, like when
Bragu.
Apex first started
How
coming
long?
out, I started doing this thing where I would just try to play support for him. Like, instead of being in the front, like I would literally, if he's watching a door, I'd run up right behind him and just take his back so that nobody can run up behind him. So like a lot of people need to practice being support and practice trying to just like if you're playing with someone like Fever9, anybody in the chat, like try to make sure that Fever9 doesn't go down. Be his support. Give him meds. Like, you know what I mean? Like just try to focus on not going down and making him stronger by making sure his back's covered. And like then you just get used to kind of being in more of a support role. But it's kind of hard to like just get used to overnight.
Oh yeah, for sure. And actually, if you watch people play in like Asian servers, that is how they play. They literally like play off of their best player. So like if you watch some of Ross's clips, he's on YouTube. He literally like his whole team is playing to make sure that Ross succeeds in everything he does, right? So like the other two people who play with him are obviously great, right? They're awesome in their own rights, and they're gonna hit like 90% or more of their shots, and they're always in like god tier positions. But they're positioning themselves to make sure that Ross wins, because Ross is their best shot at winning each game. So whatever Ross wants or needs, he's getting it. Whatever angle he wants, he's getting it. His teammate is always there to capitalize on whatever he does to make sure that he's winning each fight. And I think that's how you have to play when you're in D3+, especially if you have somebody like, you know, Fever or, I mean, and we're fighting SweetDreams. So obviously whoever's playing with SweetDreams is probably trying to do the same thing. Like, make sure that SweetDreams is where he needs to be to do whatever he needs to do. You know what I'm saying? It's almost an American problem that each one of us wants to be the fragger. We all want to be the hero and get the squad wipe, right? But that's not how team-based games need to be played. Thank you for the follow on TikTok as well.
Even
Roger,
the
I
Wraith
appreciate you.
isn't being a hero by playing her position.
No.
It's Wraith to me is the point man in your squad. Like in the Marine Corps, you always have a point man, and if like all of a sudden you start getting attacked, then like the point man literally just starts moving and everyone falls in line, and he doesn't need to communicate that to other people. but that's just the role he plays and the position he plays, and so he just does that. Like in this case, Wraith is your pesky mosquito. She's the one that's constantly able to get different angles because she's a smaller hitbox and able to use better cover and, you know, get to those places easier. And so you just need to like facilitate that, right? She also needs to make sure that she's not too far away. There's a lot of support going on, and it seems like everyone's trying to support Wraith, but really it's just playing your role, and everyone's supporting each other and what their role is.
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
I feel there's a part of me, and I could be wrong here, so this is just speculation, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But there's a part of me that feels as though that comm didn't click with you. I don't know, it's because...
Hold on, I don't know what comm he's talking about. I'm going to rewind it. Oh, batting. He said batting.
I feel there's a part of me, and I could be wrong here, so this is just speculation, so
he's not wrong.
I'm wrong. But there's a part of me that feels as though that comm didn't click with you. I don't know, it's because, it's just a vibe I'm getting. It's not like, there's nothing that you did here that makes me know that is true. It's just a feeling I have, right? So, the reason I feel that is because I said 100 on the Gibby pushing up on the left, and you said nothing after this. Is he pushing?
I actually don't think I even heard that call.
You
It probably just like right over me.
Do you have eyes on anybody else? You know, should I play the front or the back of the building? You can ask these questions mid-fight.
Or at least
right
just
here,
saying what you're doing. Let someone like Fever9 know what you're doing, so that they can at least say, no, don't do that. Come to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It's not ticking you.
You don't need to be right, but you're just telling everyone what you're doing.
They broke the door. Let the door break. Eat the thermite. Literally eat the thermite. Run through the thermite. Play the very back of the wall, right?
Door.
Let's see where this thermite is. It's literally on the right. It's not even in line of sight. I'm convinced. You can see it through the wall right here. I'm convinced you literally just hug left of this door and you don't get hit by the thermite. And now you have the whole balcony view.
They broke this door.
What ends up happening here?
They'll be picking us up.
So you're moving down. Look at what your Gibby's doing this whole time. Repositioning to where you should have been. But now you just took damage, right? You also heard this arc star, right? Listen for this arc star. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. You heard that arc star? You should immediately be ready to, like, turn around. Me and Quad, or Fever and Quad, or Wraith and Quad, or Wraith and Gibby, whatever, is shooting the same guy. Right? But you heard this arc star, and now you're free cake in the back. I also want to go back a little bit. Well, let's talk about a really important part.
What's going on, Mirage, my man? I see you.
This is probably the most important part. Okay. What do you notice about 2 seconds in, right? And right before you get knocked? Is there anything that stands out to you?
I'm in the open.
Okay. Where's your ult?
Oh.
It's a 45-second fight. You didn't pop your ult.
Oh, I didn't even know I had my ult this far.
No intel, right?
You know what's funny? Actually, when this fight happened in real time, I didn't put it in the chat, but I was literally thinking, like, pop your ult.
I actually didn't even realize I had my ult. I probably didn't even look down there or, like, register, like, because I'm not used to playing Bloodhound. I don't play Bloodhound. I've been playing Caustic, I've been playing Octane, and then the only time I play Bloodhound is when we don't have a Recon Legend. So I literally probably didn't even realize that I was like, oh, I should have popped my ult right here. Because the ult actually probably would have changed the course of this fight because we would have had way more information constantly.
There's no ult. No scans. No intel. Right? Just guessing. Just guessing. Keep in mind, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here. This is the #1 predator in the entire world. This is a pro ALGS player. Simple positioning. We had the first knock. This was a 3v2. Right? This was a 3v2. You have gold helmet. I just noticed that too. You have scans every 3 seconds in your ult. Every 3 seconds. Has 24/7 intel. Literally. Okay? So, this is a positioning thing. This was a 3v2. We were in the height of the fight. You are the freest target, because not only are you moving out in the open with no cover.
Down.
If you're moving down, okay, let's say you commit to this. Go here. Why do you have to run out in the open here, right? If this is your play.
Ankle sprain. What's going on, dude? Welcome.
I would have went straighter down those stairs too, like if you back it up just a bit.
I think actually it's coming. Hold on.
Are you moving out in the open with?
Right here.
Just gone right here.
Turning right. Yeah. Because then you have like a little bit of a fence right there, and you only need to make it about like 5 feet, and now you have a little bit of cover to play.
I'm good, dude. We're watching a Fever9 breakdown. We went against SweetDreams, and I threw the fight. So we're watching the whole breakdown of like what I could have done to change the course of this fight, like what we could have done better. You know what else? I could have gone behind this rock, and then I would have had an angle like all of this and the fight that he did in a second. If I had gone like right here, I would have had all of the angles on this. They wouldn't have seen me, but I would have seen everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's a less.
I still think
better option, but it's still wrong.
Oh yeah, this is coming out of this building was the wrong option.
Yeah, and the end story is play tight with your Gibby. If your Gibby leaves the building and you're all alone, then you go with him and your whole team just gave up that building. But like the optimal play is you and Gibby keep holding that building, keep bouncing back.
Huzzah, dude! Thank you for the 3 months. Turtle, I appreciate you. Almost at 50 channel points for VIP. Nice. What is second turned into a 30-minute vid? There's a lot of things that happened in this video that are really important to go over, and Fever literally hits all of it, and so it's important. So Fever was right. I should have just stayed in the building and gone up to balcony. That would have been the best play. But committing to this, the second best probably would have been this rock, and the third would have been this rock, and I did none of those, and I took the worst route right through the middle of the open. Monkey Fist Gaming with 5 gifted subs. Thank you, bro. Do you think Bloodhound is ideal over the crypto? I think I explained that on my latest TikTok. You should definitely watch that. And if you still have questions,
I think it comes down to skill. If you're an average skill in your rank, then you need to be playing Bloodhound because you can't afford to have one guy out of your firefight. If you think that if you're like playing against people that are like of your peers and you're trying to be as good as possible, then crypto could be a better play. But I think like for us, Bloodhound's a better play for like if it's like me, you, and somebody else that's kind of like around our same skill level.
Probably,
because like we need 3 people to stay in that gunfight until we get a really good crypto that we feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing this. We've still got like 15 minutes left in this vid. There's a lot in it.
No cover. Down. If you're moving down, okay, let's say you commit to this. Go here. Why do you have to run out in the open here, right? If this is your play where Fever's playing, right?
Even just scan that wall before you go.
Here's
one scan.
Yeah, because I have scanned right there.
Changed your whole decision making.
Right? Yeah. Fever's moving up. Play this wall right here. Hug this wall.
I'm moving down. I really should have been scanning every single time my scan came up. Even if I didn't pop the ult, like every time that scan came up, I should have been hitting Q. Unless I was in a fight.
You have a free beam on this guy and cover. Right? Free cover. Play this wall. Play the corner of this loot bin. There's no like you're going for this rock right here. This rock, what you're saying to this team is essentially here. Have the house. I'll take this little rock right here. You could have this house for free. I'm gonna cross and I'm gonna play this rock that this team's already on. And they punish you for that, as they should. I would have done the same thing. So would have you, if you saw.
But I think you had good intentions. You heard that someone was broke, and so like your first instinct was to like, let me push up with Fever9. Like we're gonna.
Fever's really smart. Yeah, he is. Ankle sprain.
You're trying to do support there. I mean, it's good intentions because you're like acting off of the call out that he had made.
I think you're right. I think I was like my intent was there, but I just like. The intention didn't matter. I made literally all of the wrong decisions coming out of that door. You know what I'm saying? So even if someone was like cracked and about to die and I had swung out the door and knocked that one person, I still would have been out in the middle of nowhere and getting beamed. Like I still would have lost. I still would have thrown that fight.
Bloodhounds, and I've noticed that they like stay back. They're like behind their teammates a lot more, like scanning in front of them kind of just being that backup. So if they need a backup and heal, that they can like switch corners with them real quick or something, or hold that door while they're medding behind them or something.
Yeah.
Right? If you were that Wraith or that Gibby or whoever was shooting you, right, and they saw that, you would have punished them for that.
Think about yourself as a Bloodhound as being the intel analyst and not the grunt. The grunt is trained in warfare.
No.
He is the guy that's going to do it. You're there, you're a Marine, you know how to shoot, you are trained, but you want that war fighter to do the fucking real, like, you know what I mean, though, basically. Like,
yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
And you're there.
And Nit's right, too, in the chat. 100%.
There was no comm that said from Bloodhound or Wraith, like, another squad is attacking, right? Of course you think that a new team's coming, but if you were paying attention, right, and obviously there's a lot going on, there's gunfire, there's comms, sometimes you don't hear things, but if you were really paying attention, you would have heard that arc star. You also would have heard the fact that I said I beamed the Gibby for the 100, right? That Gibby is naturally going to back off, right? If you got beamed for 100, what are you going to do?
Bad.
Back off. So that should have been a signal to you that nah, maybe this isn't another team. Maybe they're just getting angles.
Yeah, no.
3v2 right here. I'm 100 health. Quad is 175. You could have been 175 health this whole fight with an ult.
Oh, behind us, there's a new team coming.
New team?
Yeah.
He doubled the bubble. Now quad backs up because of your comp. Did he say Gibby was low?
Oh, behind us, there's a new team coming.
New team?
Yeah.
See, like, ideally, you could have been ready to, like, when he bubbles forward, right? Like, okay, here's another thing. Like, I get more ideas as I watch this, so just understand that. But, like, another thing is this, like, if you're going out in the open, right, ask for a bubble. Ask for a portal. Like, if this is your play, and you're committed to this play,
They broke this door.
ask for help. Quad's on the balcony. Quad, can you bubble forward? Right?
I'm moving down.
Bubble forward, bubble forward, bubble forward. Another thing that I do that I think is really important, I've taught this to other people that I've coached as well, because I think this is something that really works. I truly believe this is something really works. When you comm something that's important, I don't know if you ever paid attention to this, I say it 4 times in a row. I say it 4 times. Because when there's gunfire flying, like when there's gunfire and there's comms and there's airstrikes and there's bubbles.
It's important to do that, honestly.
Gibby's broke. Gibby's broke. Gibby's broke. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you just need to get that through someone's head. Through
You're
their
not gonna hear that.
prefrontal cortex,
I
which is all
talk
stressed
very
out right
loud
now.
and direct. If you watch Hal, he does the same thing. I talk very loud and direct. Bubble, 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 bubble,
5 out of
bubble.
5. Jeez.
4 times. Like, I make sure it clicks in your
That shit
head.
was so funny.
You know, clicks. Bubble forward, bubble forward, bubble forward. I'm gonna pop a ult. I hit him for 100. I hit him for 100. I hit him for 100. Like, you have to get it in their head so they can capitalize off of it. I've always done this, and I very rarely ever have anybody say, "Oh, I didn't hear you." Well, A, I'm yelling. B, I'm saying it 6 times in a row, and I do it for a reason. 200 health on both your boys right here. Super. That's
It's
huge
almost
right there.
like
I
a
guess I'm
skill set
175,
just
but-
to be able to like deal
Raise
with
the
this
angle on
type
the
of
wraith.
communication
Knocked.
in these situations.
It really is, and I get really bad tunnel
Quad should've
vision.
stayed on that balcony,
Same.
but that's a different conversation.
Oh,
Because if
I-
Quad was
there-
on that balcony, he would have helped. He probably could have knocked this Bloodhound.
My,
And then
my
he
old
bubbles
team
forward,
that I
and
used
then
to
we
play with,
2v1 the Wraith.
I got dropped by like 4 guys that I've played with for like years because they felt like I was always just telling everybody what to do. But I play like Fever, and it's like if no one's communicating, I'm just like, guys, take this building, like blah blah blah. They're like, well, what if I have a different idea? I'm like, bro, just say it. Like I don't have time to be like, what do y'all think we should be doing? Like if I have something that comes in my mind, I'm just gonna say like, do it. And I don't know, one of the guys got.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't play with those guys anymore.
And it's not
I was
just
like,
Hal
that
who's
is
super
honestly
direct.
So childish. Like
Yeah,
why don't
no,
you
it is.
want direct communication?
That's what you should want, and it's not just Hal who does that. Like if you watch any of the pros, they're all saying things like very like it's like an aggressive call out. You know what I'm saying? It's not a passive thing. It's like, this is what's happening right now, and this is what I need to succeed. You know what I'm saying? And so there's nothing else about it.
Suggestive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no like, should I do this now? Where should I be here? You know what I'm saying?
If you
Like,
disagree, then just say it.
Yeah.
You play that way.
Oh,
I'll be like,
yeah.
Let's go this way, and you're like, no,
No.
no.
Like, don't do that. Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool.
yeah,
Just 'cause I
exactly.
said to do something doesn't mean that that's what we're doing. Like, I'm just like giving all my thoughts in my heads, and I need you all to bounce back.
Exactly.
And say
Exactly.
Or the Gibby, sorry. Because this Gibby bubbles.
Yeah.
Boom. There's a bubble. There's a counter bubble. Right? So, like, if you're up here with 100 health, like, if Quad
was a good
stays
counter
on this
bubble.
balcony,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, no.
If he stays on balcony and helps shoot, because, like, look at where he is right now. He's facing this way. He's facing over here because he's repositioning. But there's no reason for him to reposition. He's 175 health. I don't know if he's trying to get an angle on the Gibby, which that's nonsense. Like, if you're trying to get an angle on the Gibby, like, don't worry about the Gibby. Worry about the Bloodhound that's right in front of us.
I think he
Yeah,
was
raise
trying to
your
help
hand,
you
raise
because you
knock,
just went down.
3v2
You see him
at this
like
very
throw his
moment.
bubble
You
like
go down,
right
so
after
get
you
shot
go
in the
down.
back. If you had scans, and Quad should have been shooting this Bloodhound. And honestly, you should have too. You should have had health to shoot this Bloodhound. This Bloodhound should have been a 3v1. It's just as simple as that.
Getting a crazy angle on this race.
Yeah, no.
Like, and again, and this is actually, I had the same discussion with the boys I was playing with last night. I played a little bit off stream last night because I had a little bit of time. And I had this conversation with them, which is and I'm just talking about me personally here. I'm a 45,000 multiple time predator. It is my job as a Wraith to do whatever I can to posture for you guys to have the best fight possible. Let me get the angles. Let me be out in the open. Let me do that. I can phase. I
Yo,
can
Frags, did
portal.
your stream
I
stop?
can change position.
Oh,
No.
looks good to me.
Why? What?
Hmm.
Did it like
On
lag
my
or
screen, it
something?
just said the broadcast stopped.
Everything looks fine on my end right now.
No, I just restarted. We're good now.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
I
it
can do
looks good.
things that you cannot do. You're Bloodhound. You need to be scanning for me. Right? You need to be ulting for me. You need to be coming for me. And that way when I start fighting, like, oh crap, Fever's fighting the Wraith. What do? You beam the Wraith. Right? Like, you shoot who I'm shooting. You shoot who Quad is shooting. This whole fight, this whole minute 16, was a struggle for you to understand what position you need to be in. And the reason you were struggling, I'm just going to call it right as
I do it
is.
too, man.
The
I do it
reason
sometimes
you
too.
were struggling is because you were
Everybody does.
overthinking. You had the building. You had the balcony. You have this cover right here.
You were trying to make a
I'm
play.
assuming after Quad apparently shit on
Right.
this guy, that he's...
I think that's actually literally what was happening. I was trying literally to be a
You were
hero.
trying to
Like,
help.
I was
You were
trying to like, I
trying
want to get
help
KP
instead of
and I
just
want to like do things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm instead of doing anything and actually being helpful, I'm throwing.
Sometimes
When I could have
the
just
best thing to do is
relaxed.
Just don't take damage.
I actually, in this fight, I could have done nothing except for, I could have literally sat in the building with my ult and just pop scan every 3 seconds with the gold helmet and been more useful than everything else that I did.
And watch doors every time the
Yep.
Quad needed to.
Just watch doors. If FaZe wanted, or if Wraith wanted to phase into the building, open the door for her. If Quad needs a place to like pop a bat, I could have walked out and done the same thing. But literally, instead of all of that, I'm trying to force an action when I could have just literally scanned every 3 seconds and been more useful.
You could have done.
That probably wouldn't have been
100 HP the
Yeah.
entire fight.
That
Like,
probably
the
wouldn't
entire
have
fight
been-
of just picking at people 30 here and whatnot.
Yep.
And like really not have done much and been like in a super strong position and just holding them from rotating.
Yep. That like my popping ult and just scanning every 3 seconds is not the best play, but it's significantly better than all the other decisions I made. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I've been trying to tell some of my teammates that are right there with me, like in the bottom diamonds or, you know, and I'm like, now we're playing D3s, is I try to tell them, bro, like as soon as one of our shields is shredded, or if they shred 2 of our shields, they know we're going to be healing and they're going to push immediately. That's exactly what happened there too, is like as soon as they did damage and then they had a route, then they started pushing you. It was a pretty good standoff. For like almost a minute, y'all are just standing off with this team trying to trade, and they weren't going to give you an opportunity by just running in the open. You created an opportunity, and so they took it.
Yep. 100%.
He's going to reposition and go back here, which he did. You have the building. You know what you do here? I'll tell you what you do 10 seconds in the fight. You got scanned, ulti, done. You're 175 HP. This ult should have been popped right now. 10 seconds in the fight. You're looking
That's good
for
to
them.
know.
Why?
I would have
You're
maybe
bloodhound.
waited a little bit longer to
Like,
see
why are
if we
you
were going to
looking
fully
for them?
engage, but that's good.
You should
to
know
hear
where they
that.
are.
Right behind us. He's solo.
Right behind you. So if you were in ult right now, you would zoom to him, bro. You could have aped that kid. You could have told Quad, like ape him, trust, like full fucking send. You know what I'm saying? Full send. This dude Quad cracked him.
Cracked him too. I cracked him too.
Coming.
I hit 100 on the Gibby. He's pushing up on the left.
Batty.
You're
I would've
overthinking.
stayed
I could
out there
tell.
right
I
there.
could feel it.
I would have stayed on
can't
that
see
door
it
and
in
just
you.
like
And
kept
I
shouldering
mean
him.
this
Yeah.
just to
sincere,
make
like
him think.
I'm being sincere here. I'm not joking around. I could feel it. Because
that's in my
you're
mind
in
what
a
I think I
struggle
would've
to
done.
understand where your place is in this fight, and the only reason you're struggling to understand that is because one, it's inexperience, which is fine because the reason we do these VODs.
I think
is
it's because you don't
talk
have
and
much
play together.
information right now. It's hard to see the angles of where people are at.
I actually think he's right. This is like, because like I told him, and like I've said it a couple times now, and everything up until D3, I can get away with murder just because I have better aim than most people at that rank. Like the vast majority of people, I have better aim than. So I can do whatever I want, and they're going to shoot me, miss like 75% of their shots, and I have enough time to 180 and beam them, and it's over. You know what I'm saying? But in D3, I can't do that because everyone has just as good or better aim than me and better positioning and game sense. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have the positioning and game sense. So I'm trying to figure out, like, where do I need to be in this, like, fight right now? And I'm like, and while I'm, like, thinking, like, where do I need to put myself? There's comms going out that aren't registering because I have tunnel vision and, like, everything is going wrong. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill right now. Like, it started with decent things, and it just progressively gets worse until I die.
You know, the thing is the more that I play in higher rank, the more that I
What's going on,
think
Deuce?
that the deviation between my
Probably
aim
not biggest spot.
and Aberlelli's aim is less than a 10% effect on us winning or losing this fight.
Oh, yeah.
And 90% of this
What's going on,
is just
Medusa?
positioning and like keeping pressure on the team and not letting them have angles.
Yeah, I agree.
Together or play with whoever is so you get better. I still am learning every single day. So this isn't something that you're doing wrong. This is just you have honestly probably the best position. Not only are you on height, but you're on a building that you could play with the door and ask for a bubble. You're holding the door. That's fair. That's a good play. See the thermite? But he's not taking you with the thermite. Right?
I broke this door. I'm moving down.
Moving down. Tunnel vision right here, bro. Tunnel
Hardcore.
vision.
I have
That's
bad.
exactly what
I
you
have
said.
bad
set
tunnel
on
vision,
just
dude.
Moving down?
I broke this door.
Like,
I'm moving down.
you're moving down. What is this?
Oh yeah, and my aim is good enough that had I seen that, I would have killed her.
That is ready to beam your shit. You're not even looking at the Wraith, bro. Look at this, look at this, look at this. You're not even looking. You're not paying attention. Which is fine. There's times where I don't pay attention. You get better, right? Look at this. 0.25 speed. Very slow. You could easily play here. We covered this. Look at this. You're free cake. No scans. You didn't even scan before you moved.
That's what you just said too.
Before you ever moved down, you didn't even scan. You didn't even know if this was a good play. You were just guessing that it might be a good play. And if it worked out, great. But the chances of that working out, it's very slim.
Not very good.
So I think that covers everything.
Yeah, and then we just get
so that
demolished.
covers
I just did a
about it.
complete rework on my aim. God, has it gotten gnarly.
Nice.
Do you have no dead zone?
Know what legend you're playing.
No, I
Right.
have dead zone.
No.
Put it on none. Even if you have a slight drift, see, dude, I
No,
put it on none.
my
and
controller's so messed up, and I
tracing
need
is-
dead zone, or else my controller completely goes where I don't want it to. I need to have dead
Hold
zone.
up, let me finish this video real quick, and then
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do.
Know what legend you're playing. That's one. Two is know what legend you're playing. That's the biggest thing. Utilize your ult, bro. You have gold helmet. You have all of these things, right? You have all of these things.
Plus, dead zone doesn't really affect
that allow
anything. Dead
you
zone literally
Hold up, Nit.
just changes how much you move your stick.
I think that covers it down to you to be in the best position to posture for this fight, right? So like what I think that like this really comes down to is just like understand that if you're Bloodhound, you need to posture for us. Let me, I'm the Wraith, or whoever your Wraith is, let me be the one that's out in the open so I can, again, phase, portal. One click of a button for me gets me out of there. You don't have to click of a button. Very proud of you. I think this is a really good fight. I'm really glad you chose this fight to be VOD reviewed. Because not only is it in ranked lobby, which is great, but it's also against some of the best players alive right now. And in all sincerity, if your positioning was right, I truly believe we could have run. There was a point in this fight where it was the 3v2.
Mm-hmm.
The 3v2 with their Bloodhound in the open too.
I hope this allows you to.
And y'all have a
kinda
building,
see this
and y'all have a
fight in
Gibby,
different
and y'all have an airstrike.
Yep.
So, just keep on working, keep going. Understand, don't overthink your positioning. If your position's good, your position's good. Settle on it. You know, don't overthink it. You don't have to be this crazy, you know, Pathfinder grappling angles, full send. You don't have to do that.
That's my Octane nature.
Let me do my job.
You laugh because it's true and you know it.
Factual
And I think a part of me,
information.
and this is the point I want to bring up, because you weren't scanning at all, I honestly feel like, and I could be wrong, so, you know, keep that in mind. I honestly feel like there was a part of me that didn't think that you had your ult, because there was no scans. So I think I probably could have calmed that, but again, great job. Proud of you, and hope to do another one soon, bro.
Chill. Dope. No, the reason I keep saying 35 was where I threw right. I'm gonna pull it up. I think I sent it to him. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
Well, it's because that was the first 10-second gap that y'all like all of a sudden were just like
no. So this is why I said 35 was the throw. When I came out this door right, the Gibby kills me from behind right here. Had I stayed at the door and that Gibby's walking up, he's literally a fat giant character, and I have good aim. Like I do have good aim. Like I could have stayed right here at this door and watched the Gibby roll up and easily just lasered him. I shouldn't have even.
Do you have good aim?
Yeah, I do. I should have just stayed in the door, and I probably would have won that.
Well,
I don't know if Fever.
That door that got thermited. If I see someone thermite like that, then like back up, but like expect a push from that door. Y'all are actually lucky that they didn't just like push on that door, because there was like nobody in there right then, and they could have easily just taken that building, and that fight would have been over even faster.
I think Fever actually held the angle, and that's why
he was looking across the.
Yeah, I think that's why nobody took it, because Fever had the angle on it, and